Hello there and welcome. I'm here again with another deployment related video related to Savage Opress. This time I actually have him in hand and I've played on the Sabotage Showdown mission pack a few times now, and so with that, with having Savage, I have been thinking about list building, and with playing on the new mission, I've been finding that having two characters with abilities to advance on their active abilities to get a second advance have been really strong on this, and that's in order to be able to threaten the back points or the points on your opponent's side. So the list I've been thinking about is Mother Talzin and Maul, and Mother Talzin just with her box, and Maul with Django and Clan Kreese. And but I want to see if Savage can be my other person who is threatening the back point. Maul, I know, between his advances, his repositions, or Shatterpointing him, by the end of the full deck, Maul is going to be able to definitely be contesting that back point. But I want to see how if Savage can be the one for that other point. Django might be the other option, but I'm curious to see how far I can get Savage across the map. Obviously there's no terrain, but terrain could go either way. It could give me ingress points to cheat out a little more distance. It could also get in the way, but I just want to see how much wiggle room I have. Now to start with, I've been deploying with the primaries a little bit outside of the two back points to kind of be partway in between going to the middle side points. To start with, I did line them up with it because I knew they'd have to be a little bit closer, but as you can see, Savage is not within 3 of Maul. So I'm going to have to squish them in a little more, and both sets of supports, as well as Django, they all have jumps in this case. So there is, they shouldn't struggle with mobility to get to the middle point. So I could squeeze them in a little more. The other option is that I actually switch Savage into Maul's squad. And of course I'm also trying to have it so 2 units are covering each objective. That way, if either one gets pulled, I don't have to automatically reserve one of them in order to claim that back point. So maybe we'll start with just swapping. So we'll swap Django and Savage, because if Mother Talzin gets picked, she can give Savage a dash, which can allow him to get into range, and then set off his ability. So we're covering that pretty well. I could push him a little more over here. Not quite that far. There we go. So we'll try that. Now, so let's say Maul gets picked first. But the thing is, we do want him to be within 3. See, the problem either way is that when Talzin goes, well, no, that's fine. Because when Talzin goes, then she can give someone else a dash. If Maul has gone first. And then he'll get his dash. So, okay, so either way, either Talzin has gone and given him the dash, or Maul activates and he gets a dash, then we're now within 3 of Talzin for the second dash, whichever way that goes. So we get that second dash. Now, what do we want to do though? So we get that second dash, and we want him to go for the one that's not Maul's side, because Maul is already going to go for that one. So we'll give him another dash there. And so he's not going to be in range if Maul goes here first. He's not going to be in range to get the dash if I Shatterpoint him. But unless I'm able to keep him over here. Now again, terrain is going to be a consideration when you're actually playing. So I could have had him dash more like over here. So if I kept him in the center, then I can actually have him in range of maybe of both primaries. Yeah, her cloak really makes measuring a little more difficult. Yeah, she doesn't have any extra movement to get there. Well, unless somebody gets wounded, then she'll get a dash. So currently we're within 3 of both primaries again, by the time they've both gone. Now I think there's no way to get the 3 dashes, I think, from this combination, because like I said, Maul goes, he gets the 1 dash, and then Talzin goes, and he can only kind of get 1 more dash from her, because once he does that second dash, then he's out of range of her. And if Talzin goes first, he's gotten the 2 dashes, and Maul's back here, definitely not within range. So out of deployment, you can hope to get 2 dashes from him, putting him, yeah, he'd be contesting the center objective if that was active, but it never is on Sabotage Showdown. Now, so what happens on his turn? So you can do a Furious Rush where he gets a dash, unless he is injured, which he hopefully wouldn't be at this point. And then doing another move would get him the advance. So yeah, definitely getting onto that point. So that's nice, a good amount of wiggle room there to get in there, so that's good. Now, let's see what Django's able to do here. So it would be tempting again to just have him be in Talzin's list, or in Talzin's, well, let's, because if you keep him in Talzin's squad, he for sure gets the 2 dashes, but you would use her obscuring shadows on him and waste his Unwitting Brute. So it is probably better to put him with Maul, because then there's the chance that Maul goes before Talzin, and then you can use Talzin's dash on someone else, maybe even Maul, if he's out of position, or maybe you're ready at that point to have him go contest the back point. So yeah, 3. So for Maul, 2 advances and a dash got him to the back point, and that's consistent with what I had in a game where I had Rex give Barris a dash, and then she did her 2 advances to get onto a back point, plus an ingress point. But yeah, she was well onto that point. So for Savage, the 3 dashes and an advance got him there. But, because yeah, this was the full advance. So yeah, if he had 1 less dash, that's definitely not getting him in range, unless you had an ingress point nicely on the way to give him another couple inches of movement there. So yeah, again, I think my conclusion is keep him in the Maul squad, even though he'll be kind of crisscrossing, but maybe we have Django crisscrossing as well. He can do an advance. And if he doesn't attack anybody, he can do an advance and 2 jumps, because he could do a focus action, which would get him a jump, and then the jetpack ability, which gets him a jump. So that is the other way of getting to that back point. So that's kind of backup plan. Of course, there's a wasted focus action in there. You'd maybe try to do an attack and get that last jump off of his tree. But yeah, anyway, it looks like this list has then three people to go for those back points. So that is good for sure. And with Django being able to get there, although he either waste an attack or not be guaranteed if I try to get the jump off the attack. And the other thing is Django is kind of a utility piece, nice for doing whatever it is you need at the time. So I don't really like having him in a set track of what I want him to do. because he's really good for reacting to whatever it is you need him to do. So, but I'm happy with the way this looks. Getting Savage those 2 dashes, and that came from pretty much my my deployment. I won't say optimal because I haven't really tested a ton, but that was the deployment that I was going for. Was just a little bit outside of the objectives, and then what I did right now was right lined up, but pretty close to what I had been doing, and it should allow me to have my other units able to advance and jump pretty easily to contest those middle points. So thank you for watching. Hopefully that was an interesting little test and case study, and I will see you in the next video.